This is part one of a series of videos where we build a Google Sheets stock portfolio tracker. We are building this free tool that we can use from our phones or computers. It requires minimum data entry, it tracks our stocks, it shows charts that help us visualize our investments, and it also tracks our portfolio performance against the S&P 500. In this upcoming video, we are building the trade spreadsheet. This is where we will add all of our trades. Right, so first we are just going to start by adding our blank spreadsheet, and we are just going to give it a title. Let's just say it's called stock portfolio, and we are going to add two spreadsheets in here. The one that's going to be called trades. This is where we are adding our trades, and the portfolio sheet. This is where we will see all the data, all the graphs, all the comparisons, and so on. Now for the trades, we're adding the bare minimum data that we need, which is the ticker symbol, the amount of money that we invested, the number of shares, and the date. In here, I'm just going to do a few formatting settings just to make everything look nicer. We're adding some colors to our table, and for the table header, I like to make it a bit bigger to have the font on a bigger size and just to make it stand out a bit. I just made it bold, and next I'm extending this just to be able to see everything. It's time to prepare our historical data, but first let me just format the columns to their proper data types. For the date, I'm going to pick my favorite date format, which is this one. I'm hitting apply, and now the whole column is formatted. For the number of shares, this is just a simple number, but maybe we purchase fractional shares, so I format it as a number just to be able to see everything. For the amount, this is where the money that we invested stays. I'm just going to pick a currency from there, but you can pick whatever currency you use. Now it's time to add our historical data. This is made up data. This is not my investments or anything like that. But let's just say we're someone that started investing on January 1st, 2020, and we made a purchase at the beginning of the month, and that's it. Our purchase was 500 euros, and we continued to invest this amount of money since January 1st until today. For the ticker, we are just going to add a few stock symbols. For this example, let's just say that we are an investor that has like 6 favorite stocks, and it just invests in each stock every month. So at the beginning of a month, you purchase a stock, next month you purchase the other stock, and so on. So we are someone that dollar cost averages into a few investments at the beginning of the month. Now to get the stock price, we are just going to use the Google Finance function. It takes a ticker symbol, an attribute, which could be price, could be company name, and you'll see later it could be a lot of things, and we serve it a date, and this is going to give us the historical price of Facebook from January 2020. And if we take a look over here, it is around the number that we got in our spreadsheet, which means that our formula works. We're able to get historical stock prices. So if the formula works, I just copy it to my clipboard and delete the table that I had in there. Go to the number of shares, and I'm going to use the index function to get the share price. This is a function that returns the value from a cell, from a table. We just serve it 2 and 2 to get the last value from the bottom, which was the number of shares. I'm dragging it down to check the price of Apple. It was 77. And if we take a look over here, the share price was around 77. So it turns out that we really did something there. Our formula works correctly, but now we need to calculate the number of shares that we purchased. We just have the historical stock price in there. So for that, we are dividing the amount in B2 by the formula that we just entered, and we got 2.38 shares of Facebook. I dragged everything down, and now I have my old data in there. This was part one of the series where we built the trades sheet. In part 2, we're building the portfolio sheet, where it really gets interesting. So if you really want to see that, check out the description of this video for the link to part 2. And thanks for watching part number 1.